I didn't get to experience Dune, you know? Like I think when I got to see the first movie, I got to see it kind of like a fan who had never seen anything before, because I was only there for like a week. So I had so many questions, and like I wanted to know what the sets look like and how they film these things. And yeah, I just felt very lucky to be able to come back into it, because I was like, oh, now I get to see how the magic is made, you know, and I get to be a part of it. When things are so big, I think there's a massive pressure, right? Obviously, because you want to do well and you want to do justice to the source material, to the fans. I mean, there's very clearly a lot of pressure, you know, and also you want to do well for Denis, because you can see how passionate he is about it and how much he loves it, and like it feels like a childhood dream a little bit. And I think that passion makes all of us want to do a better job too. And you feel so safe also on his sets. You know, he creates a place where everybody wants to do their best and wants to work hard, because you feel like you're a part of something massive, and then also makes you feel very, very small too, in a good way, because you're like, oh, I get to be a part of this special thing with all these other people, and we're all working to make something.
Very real.
Yeah, together. And I like the switch. Like you guys, again, they would kick each other's ass, and then after be like, hey bro, you okay? You okay? You know, you check in on each other. And that.
Christopher Walken was pretty scared for you guys as well.
Was he?
Yeah?
Yeah, he was like, do they have to be fighting so close? I was like, I think so.
He said that, really?
Yeah, he was getting really worried.
I remember having early conversation with Denis, and he'd be like, and somewhere in this movie I have to make a love story happen, right? So it's like, how do we build, and now with this kind of, this newfound attitude with Chani of resistance towards this love, right? What happens now? How do we build something, and how do we make it honest and real? And so we had to earn it, you know, like every scene and every moment. I remember like, he's like, I'm gonna ask you guys in every scene, I'm gonna have you guys do glances. And he was like, I'm not gonna use all of them, but I just want the option, because you can do so much with just being able to share a glance between two people, you know? And so I remember every scene, it was like, we're gonna do a glance pass.
Yeah.
You know, just look at him through the crowd, or watch him, you know? And even simple moments like that are us earning their love story. I listened to the book over and over again, you know, to see if there was things that I missed, or things that, you know, about her that I could hold on to, until I got the chance to get back. And I think something that I really appreciated about what Denis did with Chani is he does give her convictions and heart. And I think in the book, I think she kind of immediately acquiesces to the fact that like he's the Messiah, and you know, and she never questions it. She just goes along with it. I liked the way that Denis started to dig out this identity for her. That was, I think, for me, exciting to play, because it was a little more complicated, that it was harder for her to love this person because of what they represented to her, and her having to like get over that. And it's constantly something that she's battling inside of herself, when every time she's like, you know, I love him, but then you know, so it gave me something more to hold on to. And I appreciated that from Denis, and explaining, you know, kind of his version of what Chani is or represents. To try to like, I think we talked about this when we were doing the first film, but like to try to shrink it down to something that like maybe I could understand. I'm not like a duke or anything, but I think there is a lot of, you know, just the idea of like wanting to live up to, you know, your parents, or, you know, the pressures that are set for you, or a legacy that's already there, and in many ways, I think for this film, it's like, there is a legacy of this film, and wanting to live up to that, you know, in many ways as human beings, just wanting to like live up to expectations that are, you know, maybe projected upon you, you know. And I think Paul has really no choice. I think all the characters, I feel like it seems, don't really have a choice. I think the plans within plans have already been made for them, you know. I think it's just that feeling of wanting to try to live up to something, and maybe not always knowing what that even is. The worm unit?
The worm unit. You go to the worm unit, and Denis' wife and producer Tanya LaPointe was sort of directing the worm unit. You get there and there's a ladder, and you go up the ladder, and you go on a platform, and then I think there's another ladder, and you go on a little slab of worm that is like what all they've practically built, like a scale. And then you got 2 gripping devices. And
You're getting real technical.
you get the maker hooks. You get the maker hooks.
Are they attached?
They were attached, and then but it was
They
there was
measure it
yeah.
out. So that you
There was a
can
certain
have the right-
technique to keeping it taut that we talked about like last week. That was just that. I think Z came into a little bit easier than me. I saw the playback and I was like, I want to do that again, but it was too late. We already
I don't get what you talk about this, but like you looked great riding.
In the
Wild.
movie, you don't see it. In the movie, they use 3 seconds of it. But
He's
on the
talking
day,
about
it was
wrist
the arms.
positioning.
I think it was the wrists.
Yeah.
What
it
were
was
your
the-
wrists doing?
There was
Yeah.
yeah.
They
We
were a
figured
bit
it out.
flimsy.
I don't know if they were flimsy. I think it was an angle. It was just an angle thing. Z was strong. Z was immediately strong.
And you were.
Like I said, I was, I was back here. I was doing the Austrian 1800s technique.
Oh, yeah.
See, okay.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Now I
yeah,
know.
we were just saying that there's like no real frame of
Yeah.
reference for what it's supposed to look
You
like.
both look great. Like
Super
really
strong.
cool.
Thank you.
You look really cool.
But we also have amazing stunt people.
Yeah. She said it. I was like, are we gonna say this? It's true.
No. But they kind of they figure things out before we
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
there, and so they have already thought about the intricacies of where what wrist position you should be in, how your legs should be, So with that, I was like, okay, if it looks good on them, how do I
Yeah.
do what they're doing?
Yeah.
And I try to find the positioning as much as you can.
And then there was an industrial fan
Yeah.
in your face.
Action!
Blowing sand. It's
Did
not-
they put dust and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dust and
sand.
sand.
Did it
And,
get in your eyes a lot?
oh, it
We
was.
have
I couldn't believe I had to go. My eyes. Yes, we did one take. I love the sand walk, and the first one I love it in this film. Z came to it very quickly. It's one of my favorite memories on set that I had to go sand walk off into the distance.
We did a little. We changed
A little zhuzh, yeah,
little
yeah.
change,
Well,
but
you relearned it properly, and then I guess I wasn't doing it 100% correctly.
because you were, yeah, you
I was
were
adding a little zhuzh to
freestyling
it. I was adding a little zhuzh.
And
Creative
they were like,
license.
you guys have to do it at the same time. And I was like, let's just 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8.
Get this down.
Yeah.
I love that bit in the first movie and in the second. I love you
Yeah.
learning how to do it on
Yeah.
the hologram,
Yeah.
and it's just such a magical movement, and it's always in moments of utter terror,
Yeah,
and
that
you're
you
just
have to
like
sandwalk.
so beautifully gliding across the sand. It's amazing.
Well choreographed.
Yeah, you're very
Yeah.
good at both of you are very good at doing it. How's your sand walk?
I haven't practiced.
Well,
Would you like to
here's
learn?
your moment.
Yeah, now's the time.